Hey guys, and welcome to the video. Please like and subscribe. Today we are going to be discussing the Paladins, so enjoy the video. Now, Paladins are one of my favorite classes in the game. And no, not because they're OP. In fact, my reasoning is not gameplay related at all, but rather the story, and the lore, and history, the role-playing aspect of it. Walking around in Plagueland, slaying the evil festering scourge as a noble and holy paladin, using the light to smite down your enemies. The thought of bringing peace and light to Azeroth, meditating in the church, focusing on what the light means to you, understanding it, growing your connection to it, and by extension your power. It's more interesting to me, anyway, than just cleaving down enemies as a warrior with a sword. After all, paladins are basically warriors, they just have the added bonus of being able to use the light in combat, which makes it a bit more interesting and adds something to it. Paladins, wielders of light, heroes of righteousness, defenders of the weak, holy knighted warriors cased in heavy ironclad armor, ready to face the forces of darkness and evil with the might of their hammers and with the power of searing holy light. Some of the bravest and mightiest warriors Azeroth has ever seen belong to the virtuous order of Paladins: Uther the Lightbringer, Alexandros Morgraine, Tyrion Fordring, rest in peace.
Destroy him! Light will...
Bolvar Fordragon, the current steward of Stormwind Turalian, and of course, one of the most heartbreaking, captivating, and enthralling characters in the World of Warcraft legacy, Arthas Menethil. The origins of the Paladins, however, did not start with the humans, but it is believed that some of the first Paladins were actually of the Draenei, an alien race belonging to the planet of Argus. It is said that the light was bestowed upon them, that they were taught the ways of the light by the Naru, a race of sentient beings of pure, uncorrupted, unyielding energy. Following the First War, the human Paladins were officially trained to wield the holy light in war. This coming after Archbishop Alonzus Val noticed that the priests and clerics had suffered great losses in the war, that they were not prepared for such battles, and that they needed holy warriors, not just mere soldiers, but wielders of the holy light, righteous zealots fanatical in their faith and in their combat. They took on the name the Order of the Silver Hand in honor of Tyr. Thus, the Order of the Paladins was created. The first paladins of this new and great order were Turalian, Gavinar the Dire, Daedon Dathrohan, Tyrion Fordring, and Uther, first 5 among the many to follow. The duties of paladins was not all about war though. They also healed many of the sick and the wounded who had returned from the battlefield. The paladins also served as chaplains in the churches, ministering the teachings of the light to the masses. The power of the light would spread across Azeroth, and many races would find it, wielding its power. Some of these included the Tauren, who created their holy order and became known as the Sunwalkers. It also made its way to the Zandalari trolls known as the Prelates. The light was not restricted to one race, or a certain type of person, or people. But the light was something that lived in all of those who believed, who would live out the righteous life. It could be called upon by anyone, for it was for everyone. Some of the more noteworthy holy orders of Paladins in light was the Order of the Silver Hand, the Argent Dawn, both of whose remains would create the Argent Crusade. There was also the Scarlet Crusade, a fanatical group which evolved from the Knights of the Silver Hand, and whose mission it was to destroy all of the undead in Lordaeron and finally Azeroth. It can be confusing trying to figure out which order came from what, who belongs to which order, why splits occurred, but they all have one thing in common. They are all practitioners and wielders of the light. They all serve the light, perhaps even to an extreme, leading to detriment, as was the case with the Scarlet Crusade. You see, the light is neither good nor bad. It is just a force, a tool that can be wielded by those who believe, and it is up to them whether or not to use this force for good or for evil. We see proof of this, with some of its users using the force to do terrible acts, like the Twilight Hammer Paladins, known as the Twilight's Vindicators, who belong to the Twilight's Hammer, a cult loyal to the old gods seeking to literally bring Armageddon to Azeroth, who are responsible for the murder, assassination, and the deaths of untold amount of innocents. Another example is the Scarlet Crusade, a group of religious fanatics which came out of the Knights of the Silver Hand, who wanted to destroy all Scourge. However, they went too far, and would murder anyone even suspected of not thinking and believing like them. Think of the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the
Scarlet Crusade.
Both of these groups were able to use the light in their heinous crimes against humanity. I think there's an important lesson to be learned from Paladins, or I should say the light which they wield. That lesson being that we all have the light within us. We all possess the power to do good or evil. We all have the potential in us. We can learn the ways of the light, being patient, virtuous, kind, helping others who cannot help themselves. And to wield that power, we just have to believe in it, and believe in ourselves, to meditate and reflect on who we are now, or who we want to be, to change the world for the better. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and follow the light.